ticking. There we go. It is 10:12 on your Wednesday morning. Boogie with the Bull Wednesday morning caffeine is live on a device in front of your face or somewhere near you. Hoping that we get 2,000 views today on this Boogie with the Bull broadcast. Joining me, my partner in crime, Randy, the genealogist Rhodes, who will tell you in his own words in a few minutes that he is now full of genealogy customers, and William Rayfield, better known as Ray, from the Patriots Lab and the Patriots Lab Network. And I want to welcome anybody watching on the Patriots Lab Network. We did very well the last time Ray. And to the best of my knowledge, it had 94 live views when it got posted as a podcast. So definitely our views are going up. I assume that means because more people on Facebook are watching us, or maybe Facebook is making more people able to watch us. But anyway, Randy, say a couple of words, then pass it to Ray, and we'll get into today's testimony.
A couple of words.
Okay, Ray, your turn. No, go ahead, Randy.
No, that's like, excuse me, it's like Dave was just saying. Yesterday, I started doing, I started doing this morning broadcast out in my backyard. I thought it'd be kind of cool. There was a takeoff of Daniel Boone. He had when he kind of retired from the whole going out into the woods and fighting Indians and bears and stuff like that. He decided to, settle home and bought a whole shitload of land. And eventually he lost all because he got one broke. But he had this, he was hired for a while to oversee people's legal issues. So he chose this one tree, and the tree is still standing there today. It's a humongous freaking tree. It's dead. But you don't want to cut it down because it has that connection to Daniel Boone. And he would sit there, he lean up against a tree, and people come to him and tell him what the problems are, and he'd make the decision, and whatever he decided was going to be it. And you just had to pay the fine or go to the prison or whatever he decided you were going to do. So I got this tree in my backyard. I call it my don't screw up tree because last week, my one new client, who is now an old client because I got some new ones, but found out that he was distantly related to Daniel Boone, to General Lee. And I had all the information. It was all there, and I sent it to him. He was tickled pink, and I made it quite clear, you are distantly related, and he understood that. So when I was working on cleaning up what I did, the one person had like 20, 25, 30 children. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird, right? So I went to find the grave, which is usually my to-go site. And I saw how many people were there and, the children, and I saw that, well, I had way too many. So I started deleting the children off of this particular profile. And next thing you know, the lineage between General Lee and he went away. It took me 5 days to figure out which one of those people was the important key to that family and to add in all the others. But I finally got it all together, and he is once again related to General Lee. So I go out there every day now, and I do a little, 10, 15 minute live broadcast. And I was talking about it. And two ladies came on, and they were, talking to me, and they asked me a couple of questions, and whether I could help them. And I said I would love to try. What do you need help with? And they told me. And next thing you know, she and her boyfriend both hired me. So I am now booked for now as far as a full schedule. And the reason why I say that is that I have 8 clients now. And I want to give each one at least 2 to 3 hours a day to have full service. So I'm booked, and I'm happy for it. And they are happy. I'm finding some really good information. Of course, this lady was like all the others. Wants that connection to the Confederacy, which I found 5 times so far for her. The boyfriend, he's going to be a little bit of a challenge. He wants to find his biological father. Now, in most cases, finding a biological father, if they don't want to be found, is usually pretty difficult. But what they forget is that as they go through life and they do things in a public forum, it's recorded. And if I can find just the right piece of information, I can find biological fathers. So that's what my challenge for this week is going to be, is trying to find his father. And I think I will. I think I have a good chance of doing that for him. Anybody there? Anybody there?
Of course, Dave is muted. Dave,
Okay.
Of course, Dave is muted. But now that the Randy Rhodes break has cut to a commercial, we'll go to Ray for his opening comments.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. And we are linked in with Boogie with the Bull, the Patriots Lab Uncensored also. What do I have today? I forgot what I was going to talk about.
Oh, my.
Oh, no. I was watching a show, another podcast, a couple of days ago called Blue New York. And, I was leaving some comments and, with the panel that was there. And, it's funny because I got a remark back in on Facebook in Messenger, and gentleman's name, I won't put the name out there, but he's part of a rally that's being organized in New York. It's been going on because I had seen the flyer and stuff. It's been in the works for a couple of months now. But they contacted me yesterday. And we spoke, me and the gentleman spoke, and he spoke to a couple of other people that know me to get some verification on who I was and what I do and everything. So there in August, you already seen the rally that took place in New Jersey. Well, there's a rally getting ready to take place in New York. It's going to be upstate, I believe, up towards the Buffalo area where it's more red. And they're estimating anywhere from 20 to 30,000 people. They reserved the hangar already. They're getting all of the logistics in place, and I've been invited to go up there and live stream. So that'll be the first actual Trump event that I'll be able to go through, because it's a lot. I didn't realize everything that takes place with being able to go up there and do this. They provide you with a lot of different things that you need. You can't take certain equipment in there. Security and stuff won't let you. So it's going to be awesome. The gentleman that I was speaking with, he named off a great list of speakers that they're in the process of having up there. And then, of course, ultimately, through the grapevine, hopefully with the people that will be represented up there, they're expecting Donald Trump to come up there. So this is going to be an awesome rally. It's coming up in August. They're planning it now. Well, it's been in the works for a minute. So that'll be coming up. So look forward to that. Man, it's going to be something awesome. I tell you what, everybody's going to start taking the path and the blueprint of what happened in New Jersey. New Jersey has given people an opportunity to not be scared to let their voices be known. I mean, it's gonna be good. But that's all the good news I got. That was really awesome. That was good news yesterday, and there'll be more information to come. Like I said, they just got the hangar yesterday. So more information will be coming with speakers and things of that nature. So if you are tuning into the Patriots Lab Uncensored, look forward to updates with speakers, entertainment, things of that nature.
Always watch the Patriots Lab. Every time you see it's on, and when you don't see it's on, go to Ray's page and find an old episode and watch it again. And make sure that you are informed and kept up to date. The only thing I brought to the table to discuss as we go through politics is I'm still not sure where I feel on the rumor that was said to be a false rumor that now seems to be the truth, that President Joe Biden intends to be able to sign the sovereignty of the United States of America over to the World Health Organization, who can do whatever the hell they want with it. And if that happens, it could get kind of ugly because there's rumors that if it did happen in Congress, well, if Congress approved it, which it's rumored that they would because what's-his-face in the Senate has enough votes to do it. If the bill gets to the Senate, and then Biden would sign it, of course. But I don't understand what makes a president and or a Congress going into an election think they have the authority to do it. And anybody in the Congress that signs the thing should be impeached and not allowed to run for re-election in November. And the rest of them should probably be removed, shut out, kicked out, and a new Congress should be sat who understands that, no, it's one thing you never do. But other than that, it's open discussions, be in the live chat, tell us something that you want
Let's start off first by putting it back in context, what you was just talking about.
Okay.
It's not the sovereignty of the United States. This, what he's allegedly wanting to do is give the World Health Organization, which is the WHO, authority under a new pandemic breakout. That's what he's wanting to do. So we got to make sure, because when you say sovereignty, you're basically saying he's giving them the reins to the whole country. And no, this is he's saying in the case of another pandemic, he is giving the World Health Organization, which is the WHO, the authority to take control how they see fit under the Health Act or whatever.
Right.
You see,
but apparently written into that, Ray, appears to be Congress allowing the World Health Organization, if they take over the United States in a pandemic, to enforce, to enact martial law. And if they do that, then it's a new game, because as I have kept saying, and people in the military have told me, or former military people that I trust, including Bill Muckler, that just because someone gives control of the United States to the military, it doesn't mean the military has to give it back. So, if you want to look at it from the point of view that the military answers to a commander-in-chief, if they support that commander-in-chief, it could be, the whole thing's a big ugly game. No one seems to know what anybody's going to do, because all the reports we keep getting is that all of this is going to be done behind closed doors with no mics, no cameras, no leaks. And so we don't know for sure what they're discussing. We don't know what for sure they're voting on. And we don't know if it is enacted on May 25th or June 1st, because it seems to keep getting pushed back. We don't know for sure what they signed. It's not a Nancy Pelosi moment where we have to read it before we vote on it, because we need to vote on it before we read it, because so that we can understand what's in it. It's a new It's a new twist in the game of politics. The way most of us see it is that basically, in a roundabout way, Joe Biden will, in fact, sign the sovereignty of the United States out to a foreign governing body that really has no authority in the United States anyway, because the last commander-in-chief, the last president, Donald John Trump, pulled us from the World Organization and anything having to do with it because of the influences the World Health Organization has within its governing body. We're not represented the way we should. We're not being represented the way we should have anyway. And when you talk about another pandemic, another lockdown, if you talk to anyone, any Democrat, they're just going to make you.
You gotta let Randy get in here. You gotta let Randy.
Okay, but you have to understand that if you listen to the Democrats and another pandemic is happening, it just confirms the belief in my mind and anybody else's mind that looks at it, is that the Democrats stole the 2020 election. They're probably ready to steal the 2024 election, or think that they are, which means that we will live in nothing more than a pandemic society from one pandemic into the next until, like under the guise of COVID, we've everybody they wanted to kill off between 2020 and 2030 will be dead. So go ahead, Randy. You can challenge most of my points, because I think in some cases you agree with just about everything I said.
Oh, he assumes. So we all know that we are just 5 months or so away from an election, and Trump is winning throughout the court systems for all the fake stuff that's being thrown against him that the Democrats are trying to use to keep him from running for election as president of the United States. And it's just like that guy that you had on your feed, Dave, and what even Bon Jovi had, the Democrat who was absolutely beside himself, that everything that they're trying to throw against Trump is only making him more popular and making him higher in the polls. And the guy is just absolutely beside himself. So they realize they are not winning the battle to keep him from running through the court systems. So they have to find another way to win the election. And they know that it's not with debates, because I even heard this one newscaster saying about having like a tag team for debates. It is Biden and a couple of his people against Trump, and whenever Biden gets stuck, they slap hands and someone else steps in to go against.
Actually, I said it the other day.
Yeah,
on a Boogie with the Bull, that I said to you that I had thought that if there is a Trump-Biden debate, it would be Trump by himself representing the Republicans, and Joe Biden, and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton as a tag team going against Trump, so that if Trump said anything that insulted Obama really bad and he felt bad about it, he'd just slap Clinton's hand and he'd come in. And when Trump called Hillary crooked Hillary, Bill would be so far upset that he'd have to tag Biden back in. Right. Because Biden's not going to be at that debate, or if Biden is at that debate, he'll lose the election right then and there, because this time everybody will make sure that he is in fact the only one answering for himself.
Yeah, well, I heard something similar on a newscast. They're talking about debates and how they think that the debates would have to be handled if that was going to be the case, because Biden by himself is not going to survive. But to go back to this whole thing about the WHO and about the pandemic, and that is the only functional choice they have is to let get us into the war. And I'll talk about that in a second. But the whole pandemic thing is to release a pandemic on our country that's going to put us into a lockdown. It's going to put us into mail-in ballots and an easy way to cheat. But the whole other option that they have to them is to get us into a war. Now, I saw on the news today that Russia has about 1 million soldiers waiting to go into combat. And the Ukrainians only have 250,000. And Zelensky is screaming for help for us to release to him the multi-billions of dollars of weaponry that we have set aside for him. I don't know what this guy's got in mind, but even if we released all those missiles and bombs and drones and shit, you got 1 million soldiers going against 250,000. You still ain't got a snowball chance of winning. But I agree with both of you guys. The Democrats are up against it with the election, and if Trump manages to survive, well, of course, obviously the other option is to assassinate him. But if he does survive to the election cycle, the Democrats don't stand snowball chance in hell unless they steal, pandemic, assassination, or war.
They may actually. It's sad after listening to Robert Angel Little, who we had on last night, say that it's actually what you just said is all three may be possible. It may be they have stolen the election or will steal the election. It's possible in the midst of that, even if Trump wins, there might be an assassination. It's just messed up. It's just really messed up. Is this going to be a repeat times 2 of 2020, or is this going to be the smackdown that the Democrats need and need to get at, and or by the time Donald is done with all of these indictment trials, the thing that brings down the Democrat Party, especially the Department of Justice. But I don't know. What do you think, Ray?
Well, if you really want my opinion, it's like I've been saying for years. America's going to go through what they're going to go through. But America goes the way Americans take it. Even if, to put it plain and simple, this and I've been saying this for years, this no longer has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Even if this little instance with Donald Trump goes away, the American people are still going to fight for America. Because at the end of the day, it's a policy-driven issue. It's not an individual-driven issue. Yeah, Americans, at the end of the day, majority of us, we don't like cheaters. We don't like liars. We don't like all of this. So we can't stomach it anymore. But the actual and factual of it all is Americans want to maintain their freedoms and their liberties and the right to pursuit of happiness and all the other good stuff that comes under this flag. We're gonna win. It's the end for these people. Donald Trump's situation is just the cherry on top of everything that's getting ready to take place. Donald Trump, God forbid, can get assassinated tomorrow. The fight will continue to go on until we are victorious. We are not going to turn this into a third world country, even though we're traveling down that road right now. At the end of the day, this is America. We are Americans. We are only used to one way of living, and that's free. And we're not getting ready to surrender that to no entity. I've always had faith.
Okay, I agree with you in the sense that this is all about policy, but the problem is that the Republicans don't have anybody on their side who's able to deliver that message clearly and get the support that the politicians that need to enact the policies can do, other than Donald Trump. Because if that was the case, none of them would have dropped out until someone beats Trump to get the nomination. So I mean,
what you got to understand is the only reason Trump is center focus is because Trump is here and now. If Trump wasn't here and now, it would be somebody else. When Trump is gone, it'll be somebody else. They won't have the charisma Trump has.
There were 13, 14 other someone else's who were here now.
But Trump was better than all of them. You have to understand, when Trump is gone, we will have no choice but to concede to someone else. But as long as Trump is here, he will reign supreme. Nobody's arguing that fact. He will reign supreme as long as he's here. But when he's gone, America's not just going to say, Trump is gone.
So what happens? Trump gets elected. Nobody contests the election, which they will anyway, but Trump gets elected. He walks out of his victory party after dancing all night long, kissing babies and shaking hands and dancing with everybody and having a great old time. He walks out to get into his limousine to go home, and he gets shot dead.
Okay.
Who is going to be able to take over for him?
Different question. Because you already seen the interviews take place yesterday, as they came out all in their red ties and black and blue suits, standing there interviewing for the VP job. That's what they're doing. They all came out interviewing. So what the American people will have to do at that point, God forbid that did happen to Trump, we'll have to decide who we're backing. See, we'll have to cross that bridge before we get to it. But as long as Donald J. Trump is in the House, he reigns supreme. Now, if he's gone, it might be a Donaldson. It might be it could be any of them. We cannot go and put the cart in front of the horse. We can't do that, because that's a hypothetical that's irrelevant, because Trump is still in play. So
I think that, God forbid, Trump gets assassinated, or he just drops dead because of being, run through the mill. I mean, it's like the reporters are saying on the left wing liberal newscasters. They're saying that here's this man who spends all this time in the courts, and because the left is trying to keep him from campaigning. But then instead of going home and relaxing and enjoying the evening, he goes out on the campaign trail and he does this whole thing with the rallies and stuff. I mean, this man is in his 80s, right? And it's like, holy shit. I mean, a lesser man would have dropped dead. So either he is in the peak of health, or God has his hand on Trump and he's keeping Trump healthy and whole because he wants his man in the White House. Or at some point, Trump is going to drop dead, either from being overwhelmed with pressures of the court systems and the campaigns and all the illegal things going on, or he's going to be assassinated. Either case, if that takes place, I think, I believe that it's going to bring our nation who supported him to a complete halt. And we're going to pause and we're going to stand around bewildered, like, what the hell? And it may take us some time to bounce back from that scenario, if at all, because these past 4 years, we've placed all our eggs in a basket with Trump. And he is the only person we ever wanted to be in the White House. We never thought about somebody else. So God forbid something like that happens where we have to deal with the death of Trump. And I don't think we can bounce back from that. I don't think there's a replacement for him.
See, obviously the things a lot of people, well, some people still, I'm one of, you can ask anybody. I am one of the hugest Donald Trump supporters, Donald Trump advocates alive today. But this is no longer about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is here and now. Donald Trump is like Ali. Donald Trump is the here and now. America is not such a weak nation that if we lose a leader like Donald Trump, we're going to fold and crumble. It didn't happen after Reagan. It didn't happen after Kennedy. Things are going to happen. But Donald Trump is no longer he's still the centerpiece of what's going on, but he's no longer the real cause and effect. Like he's always said, it's not about him. What they're doing to him is not about him, it's about us. But they're just doing it to him. They're using him as an example. This ain't about him. This is about the American people at the end of the day. So when Donald Trump, God forbid, passes on or gets assassinated or just crumbles over and dies, Americans will pick up his legacy. Because we're now engaged in the fight. We're fully engaged in the fight. New Jersey has shown the world that Americans are fully engaged in this fight. And to go back to your last point, obviously, I know Donald Trump, not personally, but growing up in New York, knowing how the man is built. Every now and again, in every aspect, from the entertainment world to sports, you know, people say, oh, how is he still making movies? He's so old and he still act like he did back when he made them in the 60s. Or how can Jordan just come back after retirement and being off? Some people are just built to operate differently. And Donald Trump is one of them people. This is a man that built the New York City skyline. Name another person that's built a skyline.
He's not man. He's not the only person in the United States of America who has built a city skyline. I mean, go out to Las Vegas long before Donald Trump was ever even building. The Las Vegas skyline was built up.
By who? By who? By who? By who? No. By who?
Steve Wynn owns casinos out there. Steve Wynn is one of the biggest hotel casino operators in the world.
Okay.
Amfac Hotels, who you don't know, built one of the largest casinos out there called I forget what it's called because they sold it and somebody else owns it. But every hotel all of the guys that built the original hotels, even though they're probably mafia connected, but all of those guys have built cities up around the world, have built businesses up around the world. So I mean,
But
you know,
okay, so they have single-handedly so those people have single-handedly transformed the look of a landscape, which Donald Trump has done. I'm not talking about personal buildings that Donald Trump owns. I'm talking about buildings that Donald Trump has developed. See, we have to understand what we're talking about here because words matter. Donald Trump has developed hundreds and hundreds of Now, I understand what you're talking about. So you're telling me the people that did these casinos, they did casinos and then they did other buildings and sold them off and to other banks and stuff. Donald Trump has built buildings and sold them off that's now renamed other structures for other corporations across New York City, the skyline.
So have probably other developers as well.
So
I mean, the only reason people think that Trump is like the only guy who built the New York skyline.
Now I know
because there are buildings in New York that have the Trump name on them, hotels that are part of the Trump organization. And it also wasn't necessarily Donald who built the bulk of what is the Trump organization. It's his father, Fred, who was the real estate developer while Donald was growing up, and yes, came into that business. And then when his parents passed away, inherited most of that property and wealth.
Let me just ask you one question. When they talk about Donald Trump, do they ever use the reference of him building the New York skyline?
Well, you just made it sound
no. Please, can you just when they ever talk about Trump, do they ever talk about him being the builder and how he's transformed and how he's built the New York skyline? Because I've heard it before.
Some people do, but name
one other person.
Name one other person running for president, and Randy built the skyline in Pennsylvania. It'd be the same talk, Ray.
Dave, name one other person that they reference that to.
It doesn't matter. It'd be the same.
Oh, okay.
It'd be the same thing. There are other people who have built the same realty holding investment global corporations around the world equal to or bigger than what Donald Trump has built.
Okay.
The only reason people are listening on our side to Donald Trump right now and want Donald Trump to come back is because Trump was the president for 4 years. And when Trump didn't become the president, didn't maintain being president in 2020, everything fell apart.
I'm just trying to think of a name that comes to mind. Somebody can say they transformed the Chicago skyline.
It doesn't matter because if Donald Trump...
No, it does matter because in order for you to transform...
If Donald Trump dies 5 minutes from now, who on our side is going to pick up the Trump legacy? And
it could be, like I said, it can be Donaldson.
It could be DeSantis. If DeSantis becomes president, do you not think that DeSantis is going to bring his years of being governor of Florida and his experience doing that and put that spin on the United States of America? Not necessarily get elected because he owns a global organization. I mean, I did vote for him in 2016 because he has a background in corporate finance, and we needed someone to come in and take over control of the government that could clean us up and get us moving financially and economically in the direction we needed. Go ahead, Randy.
So why am I throw us into the arena? So we're talking about in the adverse situation where Trump dies. Well, he's assassinated, he drops dead because of old age or because of the stress of the court systems and whatever else going on. Do you not think that one of his kids might just step in, knowing how important it was for their father to become president
that could happen.
and to rebuild that which was destroyed by the Biden administration? I can see an Eric Trump stepping into the arena and saying, "Hey, I'm going to pick up where my dad left off," and I think the people would surround them with love, with compassion, and with the support that he would need to win the election.
Yep.
I could see.
And the Democrats don't have a damn thing against him.
I could see Eric jumping in and doing that. I personally don't think Republican voters would vote for Donald Trump Jr. because I just don't. He's. I don't know. I don't see Donald Trump Jr. becoming president. Maybe terms in the House, maybe moving to terms in the Senate, maybe getting lucky enough to be somebody's vice president. But I don't see him becoming president. Eric Trump, maybe when Barron is old enough, when he's 35 and he can run. Yeah. Because I think politically you're going to find out when Barron Trump is old enough to enter the election arena, the election game, or the politics game. You're going to find out that he is closer to his father, closer to what his father, the way his father acts, than any of the others of them.
We
don't see it from him now. But
I see. He's only
17 years old.
Trump has brought a mold to the presidency from now on. If you notice, Americans are now starting to look towards individuals that have experience in business. They are finally realizing that you have to have some type of business skills to run this country. You just can't run it off of a political policy, thing. You have to really know what you're doing. And that's what Donald Trump, the businessman, is showing people. He's going to be the blueprint going forth, I believe.
So I don't see Hunter going into politics. I see Hunter taking over the ring.
Hunter?
Not Hunter. Barron.
Donald Trump Jr. will maintain his position as being the number 2 of the Trump organization, I'm sure, probably forever. Because of that, I don't think you will see Donald Trump Jr. enter elected politics. Because his job being the head of the Trump organization right now is probably as political as he wants to get. It gave Senior an advantage when he ran because he's got businesses operating around the world in all of these countries that invited him to come in, that he's formed lasting relationships with their leaders, that it was natural to vote for him, though these people knew him. But Trump Jr., no, I honestly think if Trump Jr. could step up one level and be the president of the Trump organization forever, I think that's where he'd stay. You'll still hear him doing his own brand of political commentary, but run for president, no, I don't think it'll happen.
No, I think Eric Trump. He's the more vocal one.
Eric Trump could do it, but the biggest thing I respect about Eric Trump was Eric Trump closed down.
Well, he's the one that's always on TikTok. Not TikTok. He's the one that's on Instagram doing all the lives and everything.
But he closed down the Eric Trump Foundation because he didn't want anybody to think that he was banking the foundation on his father and his father being president or
That was
whatever,
smart.
which is
smart.
which is right. But everybody who donated to the Trump Foundation, the Eric Trump Foundation, knew that Donald had nothing to do with it other than he was Eric's father. Eric set this up on his own, you know.
Yeah, but they would have tried to find something into it. They would have tried to attach it.
But they try to find something on everybody. But and the foundation had been around for many years, had done very well, very good things before Donald became president. But
both Hunter both being that Randy Hunter up, both his trials are about to start.
Yep.
So we're gonna have a new dog and pony show to
if
that's gonna be the new attention grabber as they fade out of after Trump, because Trump's not going to be found guilty. It's going to be, if he don't get acquitted, it's going to be a hung jury. He's not going found guilty. Everybody says it already. There's no way in hell. But
a hung jury leaves. But a hung jury leaves the district attorney with the decision to decide whether or not they're going to try the case again.
No, they can't give him double jeopardy.
No, hung jury means that the jury didn't decide. It's a tied jury. It's split. Half says he's guilty.
It only takes one.
It
only takes one person. It ain't gotta be half. It only takes one person to hang a jury.
But a hung jury means that the jury didn't make a decision. When the juries are hung, they spend all that more time in deliberations trying to, before they tell the judge they're hung and they can't make a decision, they spend all that time going over it again, voting again, until hopefully they get a decision one way or the other. But with a hung jury, the district attorneys in these cases, or the state attorney generals, have the final decision as to whether or not they want to try the case again, and they can.
So if they want to. It's if he's acquitted. There's
no double. But if he's acquitted, he's not acquitted by a hung jury.
No, I'm asking.
Decision.
Slow down, Dave. I'm asking if he's acquitted. At that point, is he can't?
If he's acquitted, yes. No. If he's acquitted, the jury said he's not. The majority of the jury said he's not acquitted. I mean, he's not guilty.
So yes, he can't be tried again.
He can't be tried again. But you know as well as I do, they had 30, 50 odd indictments against him. They'll look for something else to indict him. So even if he won the presidency tomorrow, until 2028, when he's done and no longer the president, they will continue to find something to indict him for, or hold until he's not president anymore in 2028, to indict him for, and just keep going. Once he's not president anymore, once he's served his second term, he's no longer a problem for them. This is why I don't understand if in fact the Democrats did steal the 2020 election to get Biden in there, why didn't they just let Trump run, get elected, do whatever he was going to do, and then in 2028, when he can't run again, they're going to run a Democrat who's probably going to win, or they'll steal that election too, and continue with whatever they're trying to do.
Because you have to understand, everything has been pre-planned for decades. That's why it's just unfortunate for them that Trump shocked the world, like Ali said. He shook up the world when he beat Hillary Clinton. They didn't expect that to happen.
The Democrats didn't expect that to happen.
To answer your last point, that's why they didn't let it, because it didn't go along with the timeline. They had a timeline. And as you can see, even with everything that we're dealing with, they are still going forward with their timeline. They can talk all the talk that they're trying to fix shit and do shit to everybody out there. They are still going full blown ahead with their timeline. Illegals
But
are still coming in at the rates they needed to come in. The borders open just like they needed to. The wars are getting ready to activate just like they needed to, going on the timeline. Everything on their timeline is full steam ahead. That's why Joe Biden come out here and say the economy is great. This is that. Because at the end of the day, they don't care. They know they're lying to us. But a liar doesn't care.
If they had a Democrat House in 2020 and a Democrat Senate in 2020 under a Democrat president, they would have moved so much further along than where they are and where they're projecting that they're going to be, than even if Donald Trump gets elected tomorrow to a Democrat super Congress, he's going to be a lame duck. Well, in theory, he will be a lame duck president because he doesn't have it. It doesn't matter what Republican support he has in Congress. The Democrats can shoot him down on everything. So it really doesn't matter. Well, I mean, they will move the country along, because if they send a $120 trillion aid package to the Senate and they approve it and they send it to Trump to sign it, if Trump says no, he vetoes it, they're just going to override it. So it's important. Yeah, Trump is important in the sense that Trump is the one that brought this all to our attention, got us thinking about it. I mean, we're living it anyway. We've been living it for 3 years now anyway. Trump was the only one of the Republicans running for the nomination that had direct experience in being president. That's what was important in the 2024 election. We needed a president, a person who had been a Republican president, equal to Biden being a Republican president for 4 years, so that hopefully people see that the view, the ideas, the policies, the procedures, the way the Democrats want to take us is wrong, and being able to go back and remember that under Donald Trump, it certainly wasn't this way. It certainly wasn't this way. Gas dropped in Flooding Island to $3.16 a gallon the other day. It was $2.93 when we moved here in Florida. When we moved here to Florida, but I can remember when gas was $1.83 a gallon. I can remember when it went up to $2 a gallon. That was reasonable. But no, even $3.16 a gallon is not reasonable. So,
well, you see, Biden came out and said
food shortages at the grocery stores. Okay, go ahead.
You see, when Biden,
I missed what you said.
Biden came out and said when he took over, inflation was at 9%. You see how they just come out and just lie, just blatantly lie, dude. Inflation was at 1.4% when you took over. You took it up to 9%. Now it's down somewhere, I think, at 3.5%. But how they just come out and lie. See, I guess we'll just have to see.
Okay.
I guess we do
have. Yep. I want to highlight a comment from Daniel Smith, because Daniel said that he believes it takes 67% of the House or the Senate to overturn a veto. That's right. Correct, Daniel. But if the Democrats,
so you won't have enough votes, basically.
Well, if the Democrats have a super Congress, as I call it, and they have the majority of the House and they have the majority of the Senate,
it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
They've got, but even okay. Well,
the American people aren't going to give them the majority like that.
Well, they're not going to give it back to them, because when Biden got elected. Before Biden got elected under Trump, we had the House and the Democrats had the Senate. And if the Democrats flipped the House and keep it again under Trump, then they've got that 67%, and they'll do whatever they want with it. And they'll put a speaker in. They'll either bring back Pelosi. Well, they won't bring back Pelosi, I don't think, but they'll find some other person who's been up on her level of being the worst politician ever and make them the speaker. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi knew that she controlled the purse strings. It didn't matter what Donald Trump wanted. It didn't matter what Joe Biden wanted. If she wasn't going to be able to push it through the House and lapdog Chuckle Schumer wasn't going to be able to get it pushed through the Senate, then they weren't going to get it. So that's all I'm saying, is that God forbid Trump gets elected, the Democrats keep the Senate and they take back the House, then it really doesn't matter so much. I mean,
but that is
it's going to be incredibly difficult for Trump to push through anything that he wants.
But that's sort of like an oxymoron, because there's no way that Donald Trump can become president and we lose seats in the House and the Senate. It don't work like that.
Okay, I'm only going to say,
if he wins, the only thing we can do is gain.
It is. No,
I mean,
because you don't know whether or not that election, the House and Senate midterm election, is the same night as the presidential election. We'll know before they stop counting, before they start counting and finalizing and confirming the presidential election, whether Trump won or Biden won. They will have announced who won the Senate races. We'll know whether or not we have a majority House, or that we have a Democrat or Republican majority in the House or in the Senate. We'll know that. We're hoping going in because if that's the case, then yeah. We control.
I put all my chips on the American people.
We control Congress, and we have our president in there. But there's no guarantee that just because Trump ran in 2020 and he lost, we don't have the Senate.
Well, he lost.
We have the House.
He lost.
Yeah.
Well, the American people spoke on two levels. They spoke.
The American people. Yeah, and they're going. And
they're going to speak on both levels again. If he wins,
it's going to be a close election in the House.
You know, I'm
hoping that we win. I'm pretty sure that we will, but there's no guarantee that we're going to take back the Senate.
You know what gives me hope, and I love bringing up examples of hope. You know, during Trump's New Jersey speech, he invited possibly one of the best linebackers or defensive players to ever play the game, and the Super Bowl MVP, Otis Anderson and Lawrence Taylor. And Lawrence Taylor said it best. He said, I've been voting Democrat. Me and my family have been voting Democrat all our lives. But thanks to meeting this man, you'll never have to worry about me and my family voting Democrat ever again. Now, I don't know if he really meant that ever again. I think he's just pissed off and mad at the party that he devoted most of his life to, as many millions of others. Bro,
And
I've been saying it for years.
Like you just said, right, but it's also, like you just said, what people say in public and what they do in the privacy of the voting booth often are two different things.
No. Listen to me. If you got the courage, see, come on, Dave. That don't even make no sense. Why is he going to come out and risk all and stand up for this man and then decide, I lost everything. I'm going to book.
Because the response, because No, because
Dave,
the response
come
to it
on,
is
man.
the only vote he controls is his. And if he's in a family that's voted Democrat forever, odds are they're going to still keep voting Democrat forever. My parents were independents. One led Democrat,
You know what?
one
You know
leaned
what?
Democrat, one leaned Republican.
I'll use my experience.
I'm the only Republican of the 5 children.
I'll use my experience for a prime example. Everybody that was against me, well, I'd say 80% of the people that was against me when I started, is like, we're voting for Trump. Where is Trump? See, you got to be able to look at things sometime in a microcosm. You got to be able to look at things as a nucleus sometimes. Yeah, he spoke. But when a black man like that comes out and speaks, you better believe he's speaking with the sentiment of others behind him that maybe don't have the courage enough to be able to, or the backbone or the backing or the finances to be able to come out and say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to come out and speak. So it's just a microcosm, bro. And if you look at everywhere Donald Trump goes, that's supposed to be enemy territory, you couldn't tell me that. When that man went in the bodega in the heart of Democrat Manhattan, and all them Puerto Ricans and blacks was out there, when that man went into blue New Jersey and brought out 100,000 people, see, that's what I go. That's what I base my actual and factual on, not off of what shoulda, coulda, what possibly could be. I base my actual and factual off of what I see and what I observe.
Randy, say something. What are you thinking? Did we lose your mic? Oh, there you go. Did we lose your mic, Randy?
We're back.
There it is.
You know, I've seen in the past, I rounded up 4 years, this nation goes from being respected, being feared, people being proud, other nations looking to us for their safety and security, to, in less than 4 years, our nation being the mockery of the world. We're not feared anymore by our enemies. Our allies don't look to us for military help. And the citizens of our nation, for the most part, they laugh at us. They don't have any respect anymore. And it's all because, at the hands of the Democrats and the citizens who have allowed them to take control and do what they are doing. Folks, I hate to say it, I don't think Trump's going to win. I think the Democrats already know how they're going to play it out. They already have their plan ready to be initiated. They're just waiting for November 4th to roll around. And when it happens, they'll allow the election process to start taking place. But when they see the multi-millions of people coming out for Trump, they're going to realize that they have to initiate, steal Trump's election plan, part 2, and they'll have to initiate it. And they're going to do it. And just like before, we're going to sit back in our armchairs watching TV and watching the numbers being rolled backwards. being taken away from Trump, we're going to say, oh, no, not again. They can't. How could they? Oh, and next thing you know, November 5th, Biden's going to be president for a second time. That's how I'm looking at it. And I hate to say it, but that's what this country has done to me.
And the sad thing about that is that in 2028, Donald will be too old to run. I mean, there's not really an age. There's no age limit as to when you run, but I think if he doesn't win 2024, in 2028, when he's in his mid 80s, and all of this that it took to mount and run a successful campaign for 4 years, 2020 to 2028, plus being president for 4 years and whatever else. He may not run. I mean, he could always run for the nomination, but I don't think America, even if we have returned to our best graces and whatever you want to call it, I don't think America will vote for a man as old as Joe Biden again, or older than Joe Biden for a second term, or even as a first term. I think the next round of first round voters in 2028 are going to be looking for someone a lot younger than their grandfather to become president of the United States. But that's just me. I don't really know. And Daniel, you're 100% right that Trump was a registered Democrat and swapped to being a Republican. And then I followed it with my comment that I've seen when a Democrat switches teams and becomes a Republican, they seem to be much more successful than a Republican, but you never see a Republican rhino become a Democrat. Or at least I've never seen a Republican that's a rhino drop it and become a Democrat. Even Scott Brown, when he ran for second term in the Massachusetts U.S. Senator, the first time he beat Liz Warren, who should never have been in there, a Democrat. But then the second time he voted for the Democrats most of the time anyway. So like I said, he was a successful Republican rhino. But if he had dropped and became a Democrat, switched parties and tried to run for the seat, he probably wouldn't have gotten elected. But anyway, it will be an interesting election. And Daniel did also correct me, I guess, that I was saying 67% of the House and the Senate, which is basically what I was saying. But he did specify that it is, say, 65% greater of both houses. Now, that's easy to get. If you have the majority of the House and you have the majority of the Senate, then it's easy to get whatever the magic number is there, to half of 67% in the House and half of 67% in the. It's easy. It's easy to get it. If you're the majority party, and you don't want it, it's easy to get it. If you have the majority and your party wants it, then it's easy to override it. And the Democrats, I think, would, we see that in the House. We have, when Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats ran the House, they didn't listen to the Democrats, and they were very clear that, the Republicans, they were very clear that, we're just going to hold this vote because we have a straight up majority party line, so it's going to pass. But anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. We have come to almost 11:30. We do have to end at 11:30.
Yep, I got you going.
So, Ray, why don't you give your closing, and then we'll give it to Randy, and then I'm going to go have lunch somewhere.
Well, it's been a long journey, and I'm sure we still have a long way to go. But I will always continue to have faith in American people, and I will continue to always have faith in America. I will never tie this country down to one person. It's just a privilege and an honor that one person gets to be the head. But at the end of the day, like I've always said, America goes the way as Americans, and I'm glad to see Americans finally decide to say that they've had enough, because this country belongs to us, and eventually we're going to remind them of it.
Okay. Trying to get something typed and listen at the same time. I can't. Some days you just can't be the host and the live producer at the same time. Actually, I guess I did get it typed in there with a typo, but Daniel said that Ronald Reagan, I guess, was a Democrat that turned Republican too. And I had said, I didn't know that about Reagan, but with Reagan coming from Hollywood as an actor, I can see that would make sense. And the Democrats must really love it when a Democrat leaves the Democrat Party, moves to the Republican Party, and has even greater success in the Republican Party with America, and does more for America than they probably ever could have done on the Democrat side. That impresses me even more. But okay, Ray, the Patriots Lab Network, I hope that your eardrums stop banging the inside of your head from my voice being up a little too loud. But, for the benefit of other people in the house, one of these days I'm going to have to build a 150 square foot soundproof cube and lock myself in there for broadcasts.
Well, you can buy those square insulation foam things you can stick to your walls.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. My wife would love to have what she is affectionately calling a she shed to store yarn and other things in, and I'm agreeable to it only if I can soundproof it and have desk space for a studio that would be outside of the house. That way they wouldn't hear me. Well, they'd probably hear me in the house, but not if I soundproofed it. Anyway, I did get a little louder than I should have, but you know what? That's what makes Boogie with the Bull a lot more fun than it is. Because if I talked like this in this level for an hour and 14 minutes, people might not stay and watch.
You mean you might get bored?
It's news and entertainment. Well, I got so bored one night, I actually fell asleep at the radio station. And after getting warned, the next time you get fired, you fall asleep, I got fired. But I've told that story many times. Ray, it's been a pleasure. Look, he left before I had a chance to say it has been a pleasure. And people know after almost 5 years of doing this that some people come on and I get loud, and some people come on and I get soft, and some people come on and I get
louder,
and other people come on and I get. I want to thank Jen Woodruff for the really excellent moderating of the conversation last night with Robert Angel Little on the part 2 of talking with him, picking up at the Romanian Revolution, and still working through that. The next time we bring him on, he will talk about surviving the Romanian Revolution and whatever brought him here to the United States of America. And that will promise to be an excellent broadcast. Tomorrow night is Thursday. I am talking with my friend Joe Burlack from divinergy.org. And they do a whole interesting, I want to call it holistic approach to life, but it's not, I don't know if that's the right word. We're mainly going to bring up and talk about, there are all these frequencies that if you tune a tuning fork to, and you hit it right, you will hear the frequency. And different frequencies are associated with different positive things for your body. And it is not cheap to go out and buy a set of tuning spoons, and be able to maintain them and learn how to use them properly. So Facebook, one of the Reels people, has a whole bunch of Reels, over 900 of them on the different frequencies. So we're going to talk about some of that as well. Plus, he knows I'm bipolar, and he knows I have dementia, and he knows that I'm taking big pharma stuff for it. So I'm sure there will be some talk about getting off of that stuff and finding some other approaches. That is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Then Friday is the whole big bang. Randy will be here, I hope. Bonnie Johnson will be here. Jed Woodruff will be here. Ray might be here. I don't know. He's welcome to be here. Bill Muckler is always welcome to be here. I never know until Bill tells me he wants to come on Friday as to whether or not he will be here. But it is Red Friday, so everybody wear a red shirt to the broadcast. And
not to interrupt here, but you're saying goodbye for the next 20 minutes. I gotta get going. As always, it's been great being here. Folks, I don't want my thoughts on how this political process is going to take place to depress anybody. But when you look at what the Democrats have been able to accomplish, the theft of a presidential election, and they're still talking about, they're still bringing this stuff out in court systems where they're finding, multiple thousands of illegal votes, but yet, they're not going to reverse the course of history this far into the election. So that's why I don't have high hopes for 2024 election coming up. And you know what? If I am wrong, then I tell you what, I'm going to be a very happy person. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong. So, folks, like I said, I brought on 2 new people, so I am booked into the next time around, and that's a good thing. So I'm open for questions. You guys have questions about your family, about your ancestry, I'm always open to answering questions. So this is Randy from All
today,
Theology.
Wait a minute. Okay. Before you go, today and today only, if you message Randy Rhodes and tell him that you watched him on Boogie with the Bull, he will give you 15 minutes worth of his time and go back 5 generations for free, especially because you told him that you watched today.
Actually, I'll raise that to an hour because there's some people like this one lady who I just brought on, who I offered her the 15-minute thing, and she didn't provide me with enough information to get the algorithms moving, but she had a picture that someone gave her that's taken up a page out of a book. Now that lady kept the book, but took a picture of this page that had my new client's family name on it. That page had just enough information on it that it kicked in the algorithms, and I'm having fun now finding all her ancestors. So, it may take an hour, and that's fine.
Sure.
But I can answer questions.
So just remember, if you think it's an insignificant algorithm to you, it might be a major algorithm to Randy Rhodes. So like I said, today and today only, message Randy Rhodes on the Randy Rhodes profile, and all roads lead to Home Genealogy Services. Will give you a complimentary 1 hour of genealogy time that will prove to you that no one spends
Maybe longer if
much
you let
time
me
living
film
and
it.
enjoying genealogy. Well, we can do it, but you can do it.
I would use my
You can
StreamYard.
do it. No. You can do it, and you can use it, and you can post it on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast in the future, as long as you give me permission from the copyright holder in advance.
Yep. Yes. Well, I got to get going.
Right. Okay, Randy. Randy Rhodes from All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy. Randy's a fun guy. I enjoy having Randy on the broadcasts. And I enjoy having William Rayfield on when he's on. Enjoy being on the Patriots Lab platform everywhere they are. We were. And I appreciate that. Helps us reach more people. And sometimes we get more people. We were live today on what I call the Facebook network, or excuse me, the Boogie with the Bull network. We were live on my profile, live on the Boogie with the Bull page. Disregard the notices if you're watching on the Boogie with the Bull page, and it tells you that you need to buy stars in order for your comments to be seen by me on the broadcast. That is, in fact, how it would work if we have activated the stars feature. We have not activated the stars feature yet, and I'm not sure we ever will. But so you can watch me on the Boogie with the Bull page, the Dave Glovin profile, the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. This actually says, and we're live on the Patriots Lab Network because they're still with us. But I appreciate when other people do. If you join us and you do a broadcast and you use StreamYard, you're more than welcome to link your broadcast to our broadcast if you want to. You have to decide whether or not you want to. Things get kind of crazy on the Boogie with the Bull side from time to time, and that's just us. We were also live on Streetlock, STREETLOC.com. Go into the Streetlock news feed, and you will find us posted there live. Go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, and you will see a whole bunch of Boogie with the Bulls, about 5 years worth of Boogie with the Bulls there. If you go to X and you follow at Boogie WT Bull, the Boogie with the Bull X profile, you will see us there. If you like the broadcast, please retweet the broadcast. And if you didn't like the broadcast, retweet it, and put a comment there about why you didn't like the broadcast. And hopefully, if that works right, it'll get more people to watch. And they can decide if they don't like it. But anyway, I digress. As I said, go out there and make it a beautiful day. It's kind of on the overcast day. I don't know if that means that we're going to get some rain. There's a little bit of wind. Let me see if I can do this real quickly while I still remember how. We can get a quick look at the weather. No, we can't get a quick look at the weather because it's just not going to give it to me right now. Anyway, I am glad that you watched. Tomorrow morning, there is no Boogie with the Bull. Thursday, like I said, Joe Burlak from divinergy.org. Go to divinergy.org and you'll see everything they do and everything they're about. Go to the Joe Burlyak, Berlyak, Joe Burlak, or Burlyak. Yeah, Joe Burlyak's Facebook profile, and you read and see what he is about. He's been on the broadcast before. We've talked about a lot of interesting and fascinating stuff, as we will tomorrow night. And then again, we wrap the week up with the Bull Red Friday morning caffeine and do our weekly salute to Red Friday. So far, Bonnie Johnson will be there. I will be there. Ray is invited to be there. Randy will be there. Jen Woodruff will be there. And I don't know, anybody else, the link will be up, and you're more than welcome to join us if you want to take part. I don't know whether or not Bill Muckler will be on tomorrow. He's only available Fridays now, and it's when he asks to be on because, like I said, he's 89 years old. He is got a lot of interesting things in his life, and he's a very active guy. So when he can fit us in on Fridays, we would love to have him on. Always a pleasure to have him on. The 2020 books, 2020 A Clear Vision for America, 2020 A Clear Vision for Our Future, and the novel Six Soft Targets, all are available from Bill Muckler. Go to the Bill Muckler Facebook profile, send him a message, include your address, your name, tell him a little bit about yourself, and he will autograph the books that you buy. He's also asking for a donation for the books. If you buy the 2020 books, 2 hardbound books, you get for $25 along with that personal autograph and note included. He asks $25 for that. He's also asking $25 for the softbound 6 soft targets. So donate accordingly. He publishes the books himself. He doesn't go through a major publisher that eats that expense and rolls it into the cost of the book. He publishes them himself. He covers the cost of postage to you. He's a great guy. His information in the 2020 books, which I always call the Conservative Patriots Broadcast Bible, and 6 Soft Targets. Just great stuff. Great stuff. Can't say enough about it. Great stuff. Sorry that he decided to retire from broadcasting on Facebook with the Bill Muckler Show that used to be on 5 days a week at 11 a.m. So when he wants to come on, Boogie with the Bull, anytime he is welcome to come on, and he knows that. Go to the Bill Muckler profile, but also go to the Bill Muckler Show group. You can watch all of the Bill Muckler broadcasts. You can take them, share them anywhere you can on Facebook and off of Facebook, and maybe so many people will watch them, and everybody will enjoy them, and maybe he'll come back. Sometimes I don't know. It's hard to do 5 days a week. I know it's hard to do 5 days a week. I do 5 broadcasts a week, 3 in the morning and 2 at night. And it's even hard doing that. But anyway, go out there and make it a great day. An hour and coming up on an hour and a half, which is average. I just looked, and let me do one final look before we go. Because now I guess it's showing me live views while we're live. So let me just take one final look. 79 people watched us live, and hopefully that will grow. We're averaging anywhere between 50 and 94 live views on the morning caffeine broadcast, and a little closer to 65 to almost 100 on the 2 Tuesday and Thursday night broadcasts. So we're growing. More people are watching us. We're sharing to about 28 groups on Facebook every day. And if we put it in your group and you don't want it in your group, let me know, and I won't send it to your group again. If someone sends it to you, posts it in your group, and you don't want it there, let me know, and I will let them know, and we won't send it to your group anymore. We don't want to force it where it doesn't need to be. So it's just news and entertainment and fun and caffeine, and what greater combination is there of that? Anyway, this is the time in the broadcast where the lips say you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Wednesday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. Equal time is given to responsible parties with opposing views. If you read something in the live chats or you heard something come out of someone's mouth and you want to challenge that, as long as the two of you and the party that did something to upset you want to come on, the two of you get to come on, and Randy Rhodes and I on a weekday on a 10 a.m. broadcast, and I don't know, we'll put a panel together for the Tuesday or Thursday if you want to do it there. No one has ever decided they wanted to do it, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't, but I don't profess to know everything. I just know enough about a few things and very little about everything else. And I enjoy bringing people here who know, and the conversation can be challenging and informative and entertaining and knowledgeable at the same time. Do want to say good morning to Dr. David Novar, computer technician, who provides his vast knowledge of computers and the technology of live streaming, and helps us with very, very valuable information now and then. If you see him in the live chat, you can always message him if you have a question, and if he can answer it, he will. I can't guarantee that there will not be any fees involved in getting you the answer that you desire, but I don't mean that he's going to charge you for asking him a question, but he also does have means of acquiring the things that he may suggest to you. So we'll kind of call him a man of many talents. He can help you out. So talk to him, and he may be able to suggest, and he may be able to help you acquire things that you need. I also see that Dale Carney was watching this morning. Daniel Smith was watching. I was watching. Daniel, thank you for taking part in the live chat. Susanna Cardo, a pleasure to have you here and you taking part in the conversation. Geo Magaman deserves to have his comment read one more time before we go. I have to blow up the font on the broadcast screen so that I can read things myself. But now Maggot Mike and the Rhinocrats showing up to the courthouse to kiss Trump and pucker up their lips to when they all stabbed him in the back at every turn. Now they want to use him for endorsements to get reelected. It ain't going to work this time. The American people know who you snakes are that gave Biden and the Democrats everything they wanted so they could destroy America and its people, only caring about themselves, lining their own pockets with their membership of the elites. True. Very true. Very true. Very true. Joe Megaman, very glad to have you watch and take part in the live chat. You are welcome if you let me know by 9 o'clock on Eastern on Monday, Wednesday, Friday that you want to join the broadcast with your own camera and mic. You will be welcome to join us on the 10 a.m. broadcast, provided it's an open discussions broadcast on Tuesday night or Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and you let me know by 6 p.m. that evening, you can be part of the broadcast. Same terms go for anybody else. You don't have to be a Facebook broadcaster or a social media broadcaster or think that you might be some kind of social media influencer. You're just a member of Facebook and you have an opinion. You are more than welcome to let me know by 6 p.m. for a 7 p.m. Tuesday or Thursday open discussions broadcast, or typically for a 10 a.m. Eastern Boogie with the Bull morning caffeine broadcast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All you have to do is let me know by 9 a.m. and I will work you into the team, and I will make sure you get the link, and you can test the link before to make sure that you're all set up and you're able to be a part of the broadcast. It's just means having fun, drinking coffee with friends, and sometimes friends argue, and sometimes I raise my voice at friends, and sometimes they raise their voice at me. But at the end of the broadcast, I hope that we're still all friends. David Novar says, "Thank you, Mr. Glovin. Glad to be of service to you and your group. Your kind words are always appreciated." Oh, David, I appreciate people who can help people. My radio career at the college station was I had the pleasure of working with the station engineer and the chief engineer and learning a little bit about it. In my 2 years of real radio, I couldn't do it. Anyway, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye.